Welcome back to the GTR Podcast. Today's episode, I got Alex back, bro. I swear, Alex be on this pod for real, for real.
Oh yeah, hey, may as well make me a fucking co-host
This
at
man
this
is not a
point.
guest at this point. He's not a guest, bro.
No,
He's not,
hey,
bro. We be
hell yeah,
talking for real, for real. But
yeah, man,
today it's gonna be a chill episode. We're just gonna
yeah.
talk about y'all teams all seasons and say if it's trash or not. Brooklyn. Let me see.
Okay,
Brooklyn. But go ahead, Alex. My fault.
but yeah, so we're just gonna be giving a rating out of 10 uh for each team's off season, and just for the record, we're doing rating out of 10 instead of grades because every fucking YouTuber has done a grade. So like, let's be
We
different.
different. We move
Yeah.
different.
We may have completely stolen their ideas, even though everyone and their dog does it. But we're gonna change it up a bit.
A little bit, a little bit.
Yeah.
Ours is going to kind of make sense on why we do it. This is our opinion, and we're always right. You know, none of our takes has been bad yet. You know.
Oh, I feel like
That's
already
okay.
good. It's
But
oh god.
but what we mean off season is draft. Depending on your team's draft signings, basically off season stuff. For anybody who's wondering, what is the off season?
Yeah.
You know, off season
And
stuff.
just by the way, I should have said this before the pod too. We're going off of like what the team needed. So if a team didn't do much, they may still get a like a 5 or something if they pretty much didn't do anything, but they didn't need to do anything. So yeah,
Alex,
you'll see. Yeah.
Alex, I know we should have discussed this before the pod started, but hey, we us. We're doing 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10.
I missed that. What?
Are we doing
Sorry.
1 out of 5 or 1 out of 10?
10 out of 10 out of 10
Out of 10. All right.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
I just said that rating out of 10.
Hey, yo, we just be chilling. But
Wait. Okay, and let
go
me
ahead.
just say for everyone listening, I took about an hour of notes before this. Y'all, please, I don't know if you're able to rate it on Spotify. Please rate it on Spotify. Share it. Tell everyone to listen to it.
Retweet
Please.
it.
Yeah,
Retweet
retweet it.
Everything, bro.
Oh my god.
We need y'all
Please.
help. He gonna lose his mind if you don't. I swear he
know
is.
that it's gonna be like me watching a fucking truck block traffic at work. I swear to God, I have to look away. I have to look away, or I will start yelling. It's not good. Anyway,
so to start off, we are going in the traditional route. So alphabetical order from A to numbers, which is the Philadelphia 76ers, I think. I'm not wrong. But we're going to A to, sorry, the Wizards. My fault. Wizards.
Yeah, Wizards.
So
where are the Sixers in this list? Okay, there.
Philly.
Yeah.
I guess we just started off. You know what? You can start it off since you on the show today, bro.
All right.
And by the way, if we're looking down and stuff, if we're looking down at any time and we're not looking up, our notes is on our phones, and he wrote his down. So you know,
I got an entire fucking essay. I don't know if you don't post the video on YouTube, do you?
I definitely do. I
know you post the pod itself on YouTube, but I don't know. You don't do the video, the Zoom, do you?
Yes, sir.
Oh shit!
They got the facial reactions. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But yeah, so sick. You can see my notes here.
There's a lot. He really do this for real, y'all.
Yeah.
He do this. Good man.
Anyway, yeah, let's get started on Atlanta. So they drafted AJ Griffin, traded for DeJounte Murray. I'm going in order of like who they added and who they lost.
Okay.
Justin Holiday, Aaron Holiday. They lost Danilo Gallinari, DeLon Wright, Kevin Huerter, and of course 3 firsts in the DeJounte Murray trade. I gave them, honestly, a 7 out of 10. I really like what they did. Of course, I love DeJounte Murray. I think it'll be interesting how him and Trey work together. I think that'll be very awkward at first. But I do want to see Trae Young move well off ball. I really like AJ Griffin. Just he'll end up being a really good 3-and-D wing. Getting rid of the Gallinari contract. DeLon Wright, who's never really going to play. And Kevin Huerter, I think, will be a bit of a loss, but at the same time, was he making like $12 million a year?
Something like the 12 to 15, somewhere in that
Yeah.
ballpark.
Yeah. And then 3 firsts is a lot, but I'm going to be honest. You got Trae Young on your team. You've got some good young guys. I don't think those will end up being picks that end up in the lottery.
One thing I
They
can
won't
say,
end up in the lottery. Yeah.
one thing I can say about Atlanta, and since you already went over it, so I'm not going to go over who they lost and what they brought it. But one thing you can say about Atlanta is once you see what they lost and they brought in, it's significantly better. Like the point guard, DeLon Wright, you lost DeLon Wright. You bring in DeJounte Murray. Like you're bringing in like better talent to surround Trae Young with. I like the way they're going. I'm not going to say they're going to the Warriors type way where Steph, like, you know how Steph plays off ball and stuff like that. And they got defenders around Steph. But I can see they're still in like the foundation of the blueprint. DeJounte Murray is a good shooting guard. Point guard, is he going to have the ball in his hands more? Yes, but you really want the ball in Trae Young's hands because he is an amazing playmaker. His offense is like
he's a better playmaker. But once again, why I'm intrigued with the fit. How does DeJounte work off ball? I'm interested to see how that happens, how that works. Because he's not a good shooter, realistically. Like, he's not a bad shooter. And a lot of the threes he took last year were off the dribble. So that's why his percentage was also quite bad. But
one thing about DeJounte is they're gonna like, and I know people who really analyze the game and watch the game, and I'm not saying that people don't, but DeJounte's mid-range shot is going to show like a big difference when it comes to playoff time because all the great players and good players are not just 3-hunting. They're taking open mid-ranges, pull-ups, and transitions and stuff like that. Like the mid-range game for them is going to be great because we know Trae Young's floater is amazing already. His finishing around the rim is very underrated for some people who don't watch. An ability to have what I like about Trae Young real quick is the ability to like in the pick and roll set is so exciting. It's dynamic. He can turn the floater into a lob.
It's so cool. Also, may I just say on the last pod, I was saying we were like getting into like, okay, Ja versus Trae. No, it's Trae.
It's Trae.
It's Trae. It's so easy. Trae. I'm sorry for even
I told you it's
considering
Trae.
that. Yeah.
Trae.
Yeah, absolutely.
But improvements, I feel like this is gonna help like out of everybody. DeJounte's like value is gonna help. Hunter, I say Hunter the most because
DeAndre Hunter,
they have another playmaker. They have another playmaker besides Trae to give him the ball. John Collins, like that was the biggest thing. When Trae got off the floor,
have a secondary ball handler, and now they've got someone who on a lot of teams would be a primary ball handler. He was on the Spurs, and we saw him get
20
near triple double,
28 and 9 as the lead ball handler in the league guy. Of course, he's not going to say. I'm not going to say. Of course, he's not going to have the same numbers, but the numbers going to.
I think I love DeJounte. I think he'll end up at like 15, 7, and 7 next season,
which is great for them because Trae Young is going to get 28. Like Trae Young is legit
28 and 9. So.
And the biggest thing was they didn't have a secondary playmaker. Like when Trae got off the bench, like when Trae went to the bench, it was bad. It was bad. It was crucified.
So. And also one thing with, as much as we'll get into why I do kind of like Kevin Huerter, he's not good enough of a defender to be in a backcourt with Trae Young, who's just objectively one of the worst defenders in the league.
Yeah.
Like gotta be top 3 worst defenders in the league.
I'm not going to say he's not good enough. He's not laterally quick enough to keep up with guards. DeJounte can't do that.
DeJounte, didn't he lead the league in steals?
Yeah.
He led the league he's an all-defense caliber.
All-defense type player. Like, with all that in mind, like, that's the thing they needed to, like, work on, like, their offense, because we know how good Trae Young is offensively. It's so dynamic. Like, if I'm not wrong, I was seeing something earlier. Trae Young, like John Collins, Okongwu, if I'm not wrong, is like in the pick and roll set, like pick and roll, those two are like top 5, and Giannis is on that list. Like that's how good Trae Young is as a how much attention he brings in the pick and roll because of the floater, because it's just crafty way to finish around the rim. Yes, he's not a high flyer, but he has a great layup package to finish over taller guard, taller wings or big man.
Yeah. I'm interested. I'm also interested to see what they do with Okongwu and Capella, because neither of them can play at the 4. There's absolutely no way.
Okongwu is a 5, and he's going to be fine. He's just undersized, but he has athleticism.
Exactly. And I don't know. I think if Clint Capella doesn't improve off last season, which he has, if he plays the same as he did last season, which, let's be real, I like Clint Capella a lot, but he was not that good. I could see them trading him.
I could see him getting there.
And he's on a decent enough value contract. I could absolutely see them trading him.
The only problem, and I'm gonna finish up on my part of Atlanta and my take on Atlanta. The only problem I can see them having is that they might be too small.
The
lineup, nobody in that side of the lineup is like 6'11", 7 foot. And that's not a problem. I'm not saying that that's bad, because like the next team, Boston, doesn't have a 7-footer in the starting lineup, and they're perfectly fine. But what I mean is,
our taller guy in last year's starting lineup was Al Horford at 6'9".
Right, but I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. But like when you go against like Minnesota, that's too big.
Especially with how Minnesota's looking, you might.
That's too big, right?
No,
but
we could keep going. But I'm just for that matchup. They do. John Collins is 6'8", 6'9", and he could play at the center.
He could, but like he doesn't value, like he doesn't provide great defense. Like he stepped up in the playoffs when he needed to, when they made it to the ECF. But besides that, he's not the greatest defender.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the only thing I'm worried about. The front court defending.
Clint Capella is good enough if he bounces back.
And are you gonna put? The only last thing about it is, if he bounces back, like you said, and are you going to put all that pressure for him to be the rim protector, for him like to stop the hedge or like catch the hedge and stuff like that?
It's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do on that part. I think he can do it, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
So you give him a 7, right? Just to be sure.
Yeah, I gave them a 7 out of 10. I really like the DeJounte trade.
I give them a 7 also. I don't see them. I don't see them pushing to like being that top 3 seed with this trade, but they definitely got better with this trade. Like they got better.
And just for the record, 5 is average. Next, we move on to my Boston Celtics.
Okay,
you can start.
Okay, I'll start.
You go. I started the last one. Yeah,
I should have started the first one. That's on me. But anyways, Boston. What they did, brung in Brogdon, Gallinari. Let go.
Lost Daniel Tice. Lost Aaron Nesmith. Thought we lost someone else.
Nick Stauskas. People who was not getting minutes.
Never. Yeah.
The greatest thing about Boston, and we said it before, and I'm gonna just say it. I don't even need the notes for this. Boston, y'all got deep. From my perspective, and he's the Boston fan, so he's going to speak on his Boston team. But from my perspective, your bench got better, like way better. You have a point guard who you got a point guard. If he can stay healthy, that's the only thing you need to worry about. Good defender, good playmaker, can get his own shot. Gallinari, who can stretch the floor. If you want to go small, you can low-key go small and have Gallinari play the 4 or the 5 if you want to go that route. I don't prefer it, but like, you have options. You won't be able to be like, all right, we all can play like 7-man deep. We can only go 7-man deep. You really, in the playoffs, when it comes around, because you're all going to make the playoffs, you can go 8-man deep, 9-man deep, and be perfectly fine. Peyton Pritchard is not going to get minutes. Like, that's the great thing. Like, defenders who are sucked is not going to get minutes.
Yeah. And we're a team that absolutely was built on good defense. And the big thing with our past point guards was that they weren't good defenders, so we had to hide them. So then the second we didn't have to do, of course, I'm not trying to throw a dig at Kyrie or Kemba, but
Kemba was terrible. But we continue.
ideally, it would have been much. It was much better on paper, but we had to hide him, and he was declining too. So the good thing so that's why I was hesitant on saying, "Oh, we traded for a point guard." I'm like, we're not going to be able to trade for Lonzo. We're not going to be able to trade for some amazing point guard. Who do we get? Malcolm Brogdon, I think, fits really well. He can defend multiple positions. He can't defend fours and fives, but he's big enough to where we can get away with switching most of the time. And he doesn't have to be ball dominant, and he's a good defender. Not a great defender, but he's a good defender.
He's better than any defender y'all had currently off the bench as a point guard. That's fine. He's better than Derek White. He's better than Derek White.
Perimeter, Derek White is better, but we couldn't switch as much with Derek White.
Size is a factor, so
yeah. So I really like that. Gallinari, of course, brings depth off the bench and
shooting,
yeah, which we didn't struggle with too much.
When it came to playoffs,
very streaky. It was very. It did make that Milwaukee series very, very interesting, but also, I firmly believe that if Milwaukee's fully healthy, they win. They win the finals.
Yeah, because Chris Middleton is a big part of why they didn't win.
He wasn't even playing as well as he was the season before, but he's gonna get them to win. He's gonna push them over the edge.
Yeah,
and yet we lost nothing for Brogdon. Like, we lost a future first, which I think
y'all lost players who are not going to get playoff time.
Yeah,
and you lost a first round pick when y'all don't need, because y'all are playoff contenders. You're contending. Yeah. You're trying to continue.
Yeah. I gave us a 9 out of 10. Honestly, like, it's exactly what we needed to do. Don't shake up too much. Nearly did with Kevin Durant, which
and that's still in the air. That's still in the air, but
no, that's not happening. No. Didn't shake up anything, and just added a good piece.
Added two good pieces. And one thing that I can say about that is I'm glad that I think Smart came out and said it, or like the organization, or they came to a conclusion that Brogdon is not starting, which I like.
Yeah, I do like him as a six man.
I like Marcus Smart starting, because he's not going to give the ball. Like, he's going to be a solid playmaker. We know he's going to bring defense. He's going to be a solid playmaker. But the real thing is, he's not going to get the ball out of Tatum's and Brown's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's important.
And I feel like Brogdon will do the same. He knows his role.
Brogdon is more ball dominant than.
He's more ball dominant than Marcus Smart, of course.
Right.
But he won't be as bad with that. So that's why I really like that pickup. I would like him to be able to shoot more, but off the catch, he's not a bad shooter.
No.
So
his mid-range game is really butter for real. So it's really, y'all got a 9. Y'all got a 10 actually. Y'all got a 10. I'll say a 10 because I don't see a significant loss. I don't see how you can make it better without like
losing something significant.
Losing the core.
I'm always, with everything, music, basketball, whatever, very hesitant on giving 10s.
I can give Boston a 10 right there.
On all of my lists, I only have 1 10, but that's fair for a 10, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say 10 because I don't know how much better you can get it.
You can't get what better can you get? You just came off an NBA Finals appearance and lost because Tatum wasn't ready to be a true playmaker and Brown couldn't dribble. They're going to develop that in the offseason. Come on, you can't get better than that.
And a complete lack of bench depth.
And even that, you still went 6. So
it's not bad. And GSW, we'll get onto this. I feel like there's going to be better competition this year. We'll get into all this. Let's go on to Brooklyn.
Ooh.
So what I have written down, the notable moves are TJ Warren on a mid-level exception. Royce
O'Neal, a great pickup. We'll continue.
I think that's an not absolute bargain, but I really low risk, high reward. They added Royce O'Neal, gave up a first for that, which the timing of that was hilarious because that trade went through, and then Kevin Durant requested a trade. I'm like, you guys are in no place to be giving up firsts right now. They lost Drummond, Dragic, and Bruce Brown. They re-signed Patty Mills and Nick Claxton, but I just have underlined about 1,500 times here, just chaos. So, yeah.
Go ahead. You go ahead, because I'm about to dig into Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say other than what's already been said by everyone else, and I feel like us at some point in time. Holy shit. I think Claxton, they re-signed him on good value. Patty Mills, whatever. Losing Bruce Brown is going to be big. Drummond, you weren't going to be able to.
Niggas Claxton is going to take them Drummond minutes, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, and it's so up. And they also got Day'Ron Sharp. I don't know exactly. Yeah, Day'Ron Sharp, who I think can actually be what Nick Claxton was last year. Of course, not as good, but like at the starter last year, just get like the backup minutes. And then TJ Warren, I think that's a good cheap pickup. Royce O'Neal, I like. If they didn't, the timing of that wasn't hilarious.
Brooklyn, man. Okay.
Here
Brooklyn,
we go.
I mess with y'all. Like I'm gonna keep it short because there's nothing to say about Brooklyn was not already been said. Y'all have a competent roster now. Like y'all have a real competent roster. I'm not saying a finals appearance, but
it's a good roster.
If you y'all roster last season was terrible, like really bad,
yeah.
like really
Other
bad.
Other than Kyrie, KD, and Bruce Brown, that was
Steph Curry was a nice pickup, but that was too late. Bruce Brown was good, but Bruce Brown is gone now. But what you did, you got backups. You got backups that can actually play basketball. Yeah. No disrespect to anybody. No disrespect, because I'm not an NBA player. But
fuck that.
But damn, y'all actually like Cam Thomas. I love Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas doesn't have to be the only person coming off the bench because Dragic was coming off the bench, but he wasn't. So he even said it. He even said it in an interview.
Yeah. I do think they will lack a little bit of depth, but that
TJ Warren's making up. Like I like that team because Ben Simmons is coming back. As whatever you want to say about Ben, and I hate the Ben slander. I'm not for it. Yeah. I understand why, but I'm a fan of Ben. Ben is coming back, and let's not act like Ben is not a defensive player of the year candidate. Like, let's not act like he's not a great player.
Let's not act like he's not all defense.
Let's not act like he hasn't made an All NBA team before. Like, yeah, come on. But if you get that team in drill, you stay on the court. Kyrie said he's playing for a whole season. Like he will play. You can make a competent run in the East. Like you still have Kevin Durant. You still have like your lineup. Realistically, your lineup should be. And again, I'm not a coach, but I would like to see this. Kyrie, Seth Curry, Joe Harris, KD, and Ben Simmons. The spacing. Yes, you got to worry about some bigs, but Ben is a great defender. Yeah. Why I would like to see that is because it's going to stop Ben. Like, who's going to stop Ben in transition? Like, you're
not stopping Ben in transition, and also playing him at center is going to make it so his lack of a jump shot.
His IQ is going to shine if you have shooters around him. His IQ is going to shine. Yeah. We're going to realize. Go ahead.
And that was kind of the thing in Philly. Well, of course, they did have shooters around them.
They had two.
Tobias Harris was all right. Seth Curry, when he was on the floor, was also a liability on defense. So we got targeted in the finals. And Embiid doesn't really like to space the floor much. He will do a pick and pop, but he will not stay on the perimeter and let Ben drive, which also is just, I'm not big on that.
What Philly did wrong is And Philly had like two legit shooters.
Yeah.
Tobias is a shot creator. Seth is a shooter. And JJ is a shooter. Like when they had Ben, Jimmy Butler is a shot creator, as we've seen. He's more of a
And Jimmy
finisher.
Butler wasn't really that good of a three. That was such an awkward fit in general.
It sounds good on paper, but on like game,
those are some names, but
those are names.
Nah. Like the names, Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, Embiid, and Ben Simmons. Like those are four quite good. Like that's a good four to have on paper, but they just
Then Joe.
it's not a. It's just such an awkward fit.
And why I like that lineup, and you can say, well, they don't have really defense. Like they're going to get targeted. Like Joe Harris, Kyrie, they're going to get targeted.
Yeah, we're talking.
When did they ever have? When did they ever have a good defense? Like when did they ever have a good defense?
And even then, if they have to like put a good defender out, they can put Royce O'Neal in for Joe Harris, who's not, and Royce O'Neal isn't as good of a shooter, but he's a
way better defender.
He's a significantly better defender.
Right. Like y'all never had defenders. Like, and people might come at me. Ben can't hold fives. Like, what player on that team can hold a five? Like, what player on that team?
Nick Claxton, I guess.
He can't hold a five. Okay, let's say he can't hold a five.
He can't hold like a top center in the league.
Which nobody really can because your top centers is Jokic and Embiid.
He can't hold a good NBA center.
So let's say you do start Nicholas Claxton. Your space is going to be shit because Ben is going to start and Nicholas Claxton is going to be on the floor. You can say Nicholas Claxton is a better defender. He's going to give rim protection. He's going to be a liability on offense. The man can't shoot free throws like Andre Drummond type beat when he was on the Pistons type. Like let's be real. So me saying Ben Simmons at the five is not ridiculous. It's not the greatest game plan, but they don't have the roster to make the greatest game plan. They have Kevin Durant, Kyrie. Y'all go give us a bucket. We care about offense more than defense. Simple as that.
Yeah, and they have a top 5 player in the league, and they have another All NBA player. They got
an All NBA defender. Let's rock. Come on.
And they got an all right supporting cast. Maybe you don't have the depth you really want, but I don't hate it at all. I think
Ed Summers. Ed Summers, by the way, underrated pickup. Good 3-point shooter and is a good defender. Like they actually have competent players. They actually have competent players. Yeah. But continue.
Yeah. I gave them literally as much as as good as we're talking, as much as we're saying right now. They are in chaos. I think it'll die down come November, whatever. So I think they will be fine. I did give them a 3. I might bump it up to a 4 now that what we're talking about. Chaos.
Okay.
It's fucking chaos.
Okay.
Kyrie, I wanted him to sign an extension. Maybe not. No, but even then, a max extension wouldn't be. A pandemic isn't gonna come. Well, monkeypox is fucking shit. But yeah.
But a 5 is not. Yeah. I give them a 5. They did better than people think they did.
Literally, you get rid of the KD shit. I'm giving them a 6 or 7.
You get rid of the KD and they just go out there and play ball. Out there and play basketball. What you're good at. You have players on the team that is good at that. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Next up, Charlotte.
Holy shit show.
This is going to be so quick, actually.
This is quick. Yeah, this is going to be quick because I don't know. So they drafted Mark Williams
when they had Jalen Duran, but whatever.
Yeah, I was like, you chose Mark Williams over Jalen Duran? Okay, then that's weird. I didn't like that decision, but okay.
I'm not a GM.
The Miles Bridges that's just that situation. Yeah. He's not coming back. And then they re-signed Cody Martin and Kelly Oubre.
The biggest thing that happened to their team was they thought they had Kenny Atkinson. They thought they had Mike D'Antoni, Kenny Atkinson. Yeah. They didn't have anything. And you re-sign your coach who really doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll give LaMelo more freedom. I'm looking forward to that. But
James
I
Book not
don't.
even. It's a wash because James Book is not even going to get minutes. So like,
I do want to. I'm interested to see what. Because like I did like their roster. I just wish they could get like a rim running center. Mark Williams could be that, but
you
could
had the problem is
you?
like
They had
you
fucking.
had Jalen, like you had, and Jalen Duran fits LaMelo's play style better than Mark Williams because Jalen is more athletic. He can protect the rim. He's a good recovery defender, which is it. When an NBA level, you're always going to get beat. It's about how good you can recover. Jalen
Yeah,
Duran, it's great average. Like you. It wouldn't be a problem if you didn't draft Jalen Duran and get rid of him. But I don't care because I'm a Pistons fan.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know you're loving that, but
you
they
had
had
Jalen
it.
Duran, but you
They
went with Mark Williams.
fucking
Why? Why?
why? And then once again, Miles Bridges, Miles. Kelly Oubre. I don't remember what his contract is. Help, please.
I don't know their contract off the head.
I don't know the
Don't worry about it.
contract.
Don't worry about it.
I'd say as long as it's not above like 12 mil a year, that's all right. Yeah, and then Cody Martin, all right. Yeah, I gave them a 3 out of 10 because of their draft shit. I'm not gonna talk about. They have no control over the Miles Bridges situation. That's just a shit show.
I'll give them a 4.
Yeah,
They didn't do anything to me.
Yeah, they didn't do enough in my opinion. And Mark Williams over Jalen Duran was
wild because you had the better talent and the better potential. Like you had it.
They had it, and it's not like they're gonna get someone who's gonna make up the gap between Williams and Duran with that 2025 Milwaukee pick. Like,
right. We're not saying Mark Williams is bad because he's not bad, but you had somebody
just the upside that Jalen Duran
upside younger,
so
somebody who fits LaMelo better, and you just said Mark Williams. The thing you can say about Mark Williams, he's a better free throw shooter. His playmaking is a little bit better, and he's 7'11". I said 7'11". He's 7'1", so he can.
He's 7'1" with I think it was 9'10" standing reach, which is insane.
Which is a great rim protector. Was going to be a good rim protector.
He should be.
You could have had better. You just could
have.
They
definitely could have better.
That fits LaMelo better. Not saying like.
Let's go to the Bulls now.
But before we go, real quick, please give, like, I will change my rating if y'all give James Bouknight the minutes. Like, please give him minutes.
I do want to see him get minutes. Yeah.
But
let's go to
Chicago. Windy City, baby.
Love it. I do love it here. And honestly, the vibe is better when the Bulls are better. As much as I'm neutral on the Bulls, it is better when the Bulls are better.
Go ahead. They picked up?
Anyway, they picked up Goran Dragic, Andre Drummond, and they drafted Dalen Terry.
And re-signed Zach LaVine.
And re-signed Zach LaVine and Derek Jones Jr. Derek Jones Jr. was 2 years, $6.6 million, which is perfect value. I think actually they probably could have asked for a little bit more, like 2 years, 9 or 2 years, 10. But I don't. The only thing there's a couple things I will fault them on, and that is that I feel like there was no talk about trading Vucevic, which is understandable because a lot of people, his value is at an all-time low. But I do feel like they could have addressed it in a better way than signing a backup center. I like Drummond. I do not like, but he's a good backup center.
He's cool.
Whatever. Goran Dragic, I hope will look better, but they don't really need that.
You have Alex Caruso. Why would you get another? You know where they failed at? Like, it's going to show you have no wing. Like, you have no wing.
Not only do they not have a wing, they signed no three-point shooting.
No three-point shooting, no wing.
No new three-point shooting, which is what they struggled with. Dalen Terry, I think, will be all right, but he's not a shooter. I wanted them to draft a shooter. They didn't do that.
I wanted them to get wings and a shooter. The reason why I say that Patrick Williams. He's another Kawhi. Like I've heard this from Bulls fans.
Fuck off.
Like, okay, let's
I
not.
like Patrick Williams, but no, he's not
even
another
that.
Kawhi.
One thing I want him to stay healthy. Stay healthy. He's a good defender. Okay, 3-point shooter, but stay healthy. Stay healthy. Health
I think
was a big
he'll
problem.
develop. I think he'll develop, but I don't see.
And do I even like him at the 4?
You need a better paint defender than that. That's what I was saying. I think was it the last pod or the pod before? I think it was the last one. But yeah, I don't know. I did give them a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. I misread my own handwriting. Just because
the rim protection, the wing play is bad.
They added all right depth, but I don't, and they were able to re-sign Zach LaVine, which is really important.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't like they didn't add any wings or any shooters or any wing shooters, of course.
Let me rephrase that, because you did add wings. You add raw wings. Like you added raw wings. Like that's not it. You're trying to be a playoff team. Like you can't be doing that. You can't take shortcuts. Like you really can't.
Yeah. And I'm also interested. We'll talk about this later, but they were able to get pick 20 or pick 21 for De'Anthony Melton. Surely they could have. That was Philly and Memphis. Surely the Bulls could have gotten something for they had pick 18.
Yeah,
whatever pick it was.
They had a solid pick to get a solid wing like AJ Griffin. Like I know he's not the greatest.
AJ Griffin was already off the board.
He was. I thought he was at 22.
No, he was 16.
Okay, I'm tripping.
For Atlanta. Yeah,
okay.
That's what I was thinking in my head too. I'm like, why the fuck didn't they take AJ Griffin? Oh, he was drafted. Okay. That makes sense.
I give him a 5.
Yeah.
I give him a 4. Never mind. I give him a 4.
I feel like that's a bit harsh because I do like that. I do kind of like Drummond and Dragic, and they were able to re-sign LaVine, but that's okay.
But do you need Drummond? I give him a 4 because I'm asking myself this question because you're trying to make the playoffs. Like I don't care about the regular season. You're gonna be fine. You get another point guard who you don't need. Lonzo was hurt. Okay, if you realistically, because we don't live in a perfect world, you draft a point guard because Lonzo was hurt and he is injury prone. The idea is, can he stay healthy? But you did have Lonzo. You do have Alex Caruso. Like, why?
You got Ayo Dosunmu.
You got Ayo. Like, why? Why draft? Like, why bring in another point guard?
Yeah, that's what. Please just draft a shooter. Just please draft a shooter.
A wing player, like either. The 3 things that they really messed up. The more I'm thinking about it, the 3 things that you messed up was you didn't draft a shooter to space the floor. You don't have a wing defender, like a wing 3-and-D, and you don't have rim protection.
Patrick Williams, I believe, can do that, but they don't have any paint defense.
Besides Patrick Williams, coming off the bench, who else is going to play a 3-and-D role? I love.
Also, he's not going to come up. He's going to start. Start.
Right. So at this point, it's like. We got a lot of slashers. We're going to be fun, like open court. We're going to be super fun. Half court, we're going to struggle. There's going to be DeMar mid-range shots and Zach LaVine off-ball 3-point shots. And
I actually think like if they go back to what they did like in the regular, they were all right in the half court.
And then we saw.
And then they got injured, and then they didn't go back to what they were doing well. That's
fair.
Stuck with what they did while they were injured.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I have a question because you said they were injured. Let's say they're healthy. Do you think they'll still beating that Bucks team? Hell no.
I don't think. I think they're first or second round exit.
And
I think last summer they set their peak on. All right, we're not going to win a championship, but we're going to be fun. We're going to be fun because I'm going to be honest. The Bulls have been boring as fuck for the past. It had been a while.
Couple of years.
Jimmy Butler left, realistically.
But I think we move.
We
move on.
Yeah.
To Cleveland.
Right, let's go to the Cavs.
The lane.
So Raul Neto, they picked up Raul Neto, Robin Lopez, Ochai Agbaji.
Ochai Agbaji, yep.
Yeah. And then I just put a massive question mark around Colin Sexton And then they re-signed Garland and Ricky Rubio.
I love their offseason.
I don't love it. I don't hate it. I think they did what they had to do for the most part. Like, don't touch it. They're doing well. They're looking good. Colin Sexton, I had a question mark over him because I don't know what the fuck's going on over there. Ideally, you keep him, but you don't want to pay him too much because you are going to have to. Garland's extension kicks in next summer, and yeah,
they made Colin Sexton expendable. You pick up Ricky Rubio as your backup point guard, which is a great backup point guard, like a great backup point guard.
Yeah.
You pick up Abaji, who's a 3-point shooter, what you really lacked when it came to coming off the bench, who's a 6'8" 3-point shooter. Oh, and a defender. Oh, yeah. We love that. Yeah, and you re-signed Darius Garland, and you still got your bigs.
Yeah, they did what they had to do. That's why I gave them a 5 out of 10.
I give them a 7. They did what they had to do. I give them a 7.
I just I just have a huge question mark around Colin. I think it depends what happens with him. Not even like re-signing him makes or breaks your team or whatever, but if you overpay him, oh no. If you let him walk, all right, I will stick with the 5 out of 10. If you get him for good value, it brings it up.
I say 7 because you did enough. Like, you did enough.
They're one of those teams that are kind of like what I put earlier, like they didn't do much. So it's like, all right.
Next team.
Let's go on to the Mavericks, one of my favorite teams this offseason. They added Christian Wood, JaVale McGee, drafted Jaden Hardy, and then they lost Jalen Brunson, Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, Marquise Chris, and Boban Marjanovic. They re-signed Frankie Ntilikina, and Theo Pinson.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I really like the Christian Wood trade. I really think he's going to do really well with Luka. We've seen him do really well with good playmakers in the past. And last year he wasn't as efficient because he didn't really have a good playmaker with him. So he's going to be good in the pick and roll, and he can pop. He's a good 3-point shooter. And yes, he's not a good defender, but Dwight Powell was a terrible defender, let's be real. And he was an inconsistent as fuck 3-point shooter. So I just think, are they going to struggle a bit on defense? Yeah, but even then, they had a good defense but that's also a lot down to the coaching. So I really like that. Being able to get Jaden Hardy in the second round, it's fantastic.
W.
And, like, of course he dropped, but he did drop in the draft for a reason, but he still got upside. So I think that'll be interesting.
Dallas, you gave Luka a lot for it. You gave him 2, actually. What I like about Dallas in their offseason, and it's going to be crazy how I grade them or give them their number. I like Dallas offseason. I really do. Really do. But you are putting so much pressure on Luka to be like the facilitator, the scorer, like the setter. Like, he's going to set everything on offense. He got to get better on defense, but at this point, I really don't care how bad you are on defense because you do so much on offense for this team.
Yeah.
You lost Jalen Brunson, which we already knew who was gone. Sorry, we lost Jalen Brunson, who we already knew who was gone. New York said, yeah, we got him. They did a college scouting for Jalen Brunson. They did a college scouting, but you lost a secondary creator. If you can get Colin Sexton, let's talk about it. If you can get Colin, and you get a secondary
to come off the bench though, because I think that's terrible perimeter defense. Let's be real.
That's terrible, but if you can get Colin Sexton to because he's not going to replace Jalen Brunson, but
now also what I'm thinking for Colin Sexton is how much do they have in cap space left? Because I don't know if they'll be able to sign him.
They can mid-level exception type B, like somewhere around like there. Because they gave JaVale McGee like nothing crazy. What I like about it is, and we gotta see when the season starts, but they said Christian Wood is okay coming off the bench, which I'm cool with. what I like is you sign JaVale McGee. Like you sign a rim protector who's gonna. JaVale McGee is a person who you can play for 20 minutes, and his
Oh yeah,
production is going to be
exactly.
very,
Yeah.
very good.
Did you say? I thought you said Christian Wood off the bench. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, actually, reports from Dallas, yeah, like they might run Christian Wood off the bench,
No
which I highly doubt.
fucking Mames way.
Doubt. But
No.
you got a lob threat. Basically, you gave Luka a lob threat. Christian Wood, when he wants to be a good defender, he can be an okay defender. He can be an okay defender. In Houston, he didn't try because who wants to try in Houston? Oh, I said that wrong. Let me not say that. Let me take that back.
But like they're trying to tank. They're trying to tank.
There we go. They're not trying to win. But you did what you honestly you did you did everything to keep Luka happy.
Yeah,
That's what you did.
And I honestly think Dinwiddie can. When he was in Dallas, he wasn't bad. He wasn't great. Like he didn't show.
They played him at the power forward position, which was crazy to me, but whatever.
He's 6'6".
Great,
so
yeah.
I think you could do, but you can play him at the 2. Now he's very much more score first, but I think he could be all right as a secondary ball handler.
One thing
now that what you have off the bench, but at the same time, it's like I don't hate it.
One thing I can say that was great about Dallas is their coaching. Their coaching is really what made them go far.
Yeah.
And Luka's presence also. So they can keep that. They're going to be fine. Yeah. I give them a 6.
I gave them an 8 because I really like the Christian Wood trade.
Oh, you're high on that Christian Wood.
I really like the Christian Wood
I gave
him
a 6 because Christian Wood, JaVale McGee, and Jaden Hardy. Basically, their pickups. They were
always going to lose Jalen Brunson.
Right.
You're not matching fucking $26 million a year.
Which that's why I gave him a 6. Like
we'll get into that.
I guess you could have tried a little bit better, but you can't try. You can try, but he can sign whatever he wants to. So
yeah.
Next team.
Now we go on to Denver, who I really like their offseason too. They signed KCP, Bruce Brown, and Ish Smith, and Deandre Jordan, and Christian Braun. The last 3 realistically will not see minutes. They lost Monte Morris, Will Barton, Facundo Campazzo, and Bryn Forbes, and they re-signed, of course, Nikola Jokic. You can start here.
Okay.
Or I can.
No, I'm thinking. I can start.
You can.
What I can say. Here we go. I think this will be fair. With that Ish Smith and KCP trade, it kind of threw me for a loop because you gave away the 2 better players in Will Barton and Monte Morris, but you are getting Jamal Murray back. You are getting Michael Porter back. KCP is an elite 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
I use the word elite loosely, but when you shoot about 38 and close to 40%, like you're going to get a bag. You're going to be good. You got him on a good deal. You got him in. Ish Smith is a still solid backup point guard. He knows how to run the teams when coming off the bench. You gave Jokic the extension, which was a benefit. Like you had to do that, which.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. You're going to give the MVP of the league.
Right. It's no question. One thing that kind of threw me off, and I don't like it, but you signed Deandre Jordan. Why?
Yeah, that's one thing. I'm like, why? I read that they did that. I'm like, what the fuck is the point in that?
Because he's like, is he really going to get minutes? Like,
no, absolutely not. I think they still have Boogie Cousins. So
I don't even like Najee. If I say
Zeke Najee, yeah,
Zeke Najee, I love him. I love him at the
I like him a lot.
Like he's going to get minutes.
I want to see.
Besides that, they had a really for me an 8 out of 10 offseason.
Yeah, that's also what I gave them. I really like KCP's fit. Gave them perimeter defense. Bruce Brown, I just really like Bruce Brown.
They got Bruce Brown?
Yeah, they got Bruce Brown.
Yeah, they get an 8. They get an 8.
Yeah, they got Bruce Brown, Ish Smith, and Deandre Jordan and Christian Braun. Mostly Deandre Jordan and Christian Braun are not going to play. But
they did what they had to do to get
they did, and more.
They did what they had to do and more, and they're looking forward for Jamal Murray and Michael Porter to come back. Because that lineup is going to look nice now.
Excited. Like
you have a defender in there.
Even if Michael Porter Jr. ends up being one of the worst contracts in the league, because that's up in the air in my opinion on how he looks post-injury. Like the fact that you can have one of the worst contracts in the league potentially, and even without him, and still have a damn good roster is really impressive to me.
You do.
Yeah, I gave them an 8 out of 10.
It's an 8. It's an 8.
Yeah. Next, we move on to your Detroit Pistons. I'll let you start. Just
we won the draft. I'm gonna keep it simple. We won the draft.
That's not a competition.
Troy Weaver, you're a god. We won the draft. What do we do? Jaden Ivey, backcourt mate for Cade Cunningham, our centerpiece. Jalen Duran, finesse. Thank you. Alec Burke and Nerlens Noel. I love those 2 pickups. Veteran vets. We have vets who can actually play. And
Kemba Walker, which I'm pretty sure aren't you guys working on a buyout for him?
Yes, we're not gonna play Kemba Walker. Don't ever do that.
But, I don't think you guys are gonna play Kemba.
We got vets who can actually play. Corey Joseph won't have to really play for real. One thing I like is underrated. It's not underrated. One thing that flew under the radar, and I feel like he's going to be fine here. I like the Kevin Knox pickup. Just because.
I don't know. That's just a complete project that I don't know if you guys are going to have time for.
I feel like we will.
I don't know.
I like how
it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. Right. It's a $1 million contract. It doesn't kill me. We got rid of Jeremy Grant. Let me say this because a lot of the disrespect goes on Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
First off, thank you, Jeremy Grant, for signing with Detroit, giving us a chance because we don't get that many free agents. And you bet on yourself and came here, which I love. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, he was – I really enjoyed him.
And you, when you was here, you actually represented the city. You did a lot for the city. And you still are. You're in Portland right now. You play for Portland. You're still doing a lot in the city. So thank you, Jeremy Grant. But we got Ivy. But thank you. For real. It's all love. But we did what we needed to do.
Yeah. We
got lucky in the draft. We finessed our way in the draft to come back instead of picking up that Gordon Hayward contract that everybody had us doing. Fred Weaver got on the phone, and we got Jalen Duran. We had to get a Kemba Walker contract that was $8 million instead of a Gordon Hayward contract.
Yeah. And let me just say, I don't know how long we've been recording. Mm-hmm. I think we do half today. And then half. Why don't you do just a midweek episode?
That can work. Work.
So then that would
like that. Hey, yo, Pa, y'all get Alec is so nice to y'all. I wasn't none of that. Y'all would have got 15 today and next week 15. But Alex is so nice,
we'll
go
midweek. And we'll end on Memphis because I just realized holy fuck, we're probably running really long. But yeah, I liked those pickups. You guys did so well in the draft. Your rebuild is looking really good. The only question I have is the Marvin Bagley contract, because sure, it's an overpay, but I'm also he still has upside. You guys can afford it. What was it? 3 years, 50?
3 years, 50.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so I think that's an overpay. I think a lot of people can agree on that. But it's not like he's a bad player.
Wait, hold up. Let me make sure, because I don't think it's 3 years, 50. Keep talking. You're good. Keep talking.
But yeah, I think, it's an overpay.
No, it's not. I'm tripping. It's 3 years, 37. So no.
3 years, 37?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. No. Oh, my God. I'm. Oh, no, I don't hate that value at all.
Yeah, and that's why I had to check it because
that's actually perfect. I think that if I were to resign, I would have leaned toward 3 years 30 or 3 years to 3 years 35. 3 years 37 is not that far off.
It's not that far off.
So I'm gonna change y'all's grade. I'm gonna give y'all a 9. I had y'all at an 8.
Thank you. One thing
I don't know what else you can do other than sign Bagley for a little bit less, but
I could tell you.
Fuck it.
I could tell you because I'm a fan, but for real, no bias, like no Pistons bias. I'm gonna keep that out.
Yeah, do your best.
I'm gonna do my best. We did what we needed to do. We get another year, Cade. We gave him his
You did
backcourt.
what you needed to do and more.
We did. We got Cade. We get in Jaden Ivey, his backcourt teammate, for the next years to come. This year, Killian has to prove that he can actually play, which he can. I'm not saying he can't play, but he has to shoot. It's a spot for your guard position now. It's a spot. It's a real spot for your guard position now.
Exactly.
So now you got to show up. Now you got to show up to work. You got to show up to work every game.
He's got it. This is his. I feel like he's gonna have a couple months. That's his last chance.
You have to show up to work every game. The thing that is keeping you here, and people go, I'm not a Killian hater. Excuse me. Your defense, your playmaker is going to keep you here. I need, and that's like a net negative, or it's a net balance. But I need you to improve. You got Ivy gunning for your spot. You got to do it. Saddiq Bey, not a lot of talk about Saddiq Bey. I don't understand it. Saddiq Bey is our second best player on our team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Ivy. Saddiq Bey is him. Like Saddiq Bey is the second best player on our team.
I don't know if Ivy's the third best on your team, if I'm being honest. Like, he's good. He's kind of wrong.
He's a rookie. Like, hasn't touched the floor.
He's a rookie. Yeah.
I've seen this, and I'm not going to stay on the Pistons too long, but I've seen this. There's 3 things I want to see. No, 3 things that I'm about to say. I've seen this on Twitter. Jaden Ivey is the second best Piston over Saddiq Bey. Over a man who had a 50-point game, one of the best 3-point shooters on our team, broke a record this season.
Honestly, you're your best 3-point shooter on your team.
Easily. Stop disrespecting Saddiq Bey and his talent. Please.
He's going to be a part of your team, a very important part of your guys' team for years to come.
Please stop.
And I really... Saddiq Bey, we have the whole shit, like, in game 1 against Miami, I tweeted, like, Boston Celtics, get out of your own half challenge successfully. That shit. Celtics defend a Steph Curry 3 challenge.
Right. Saddiq, don't get Saddiq is always burning Boston.
Yeah, Saddiq Bey, fucking take a break, please. Take a little bit of a break. What is my dog doing? Oh my god. I just look over and shoot. Yeah.
But stop disrespecting Saddiq Bey.
Yeah.
Stop acting like he's not our second best player. Put some respect on the man's name.
Yeah.
Number 2, Isaiah Stewart, great improvements. What I've seen in Summer League, I don't take Summer League for a lot, but man, he can shoot the ball. His release just needs to get sped up. His release, he's a good perimeter defender. He's a good rim protector. As much as y'all want to shit on, as much as y'all shit on Saddiq Bey, and how much you shit on Isaiah Stewart, like stats again, like stat wise, one of the better rim protector and perimeter defenders. Stop saying he's bad because he's undersized. Stop it.
Yeah.
Of course, he's not a lob threat, but defensively, he's better than any big we have. Nerlens Noel, you can say he's better, but he got to stay healthy. At least Stewart can stay healthy.
And let's be real with Nerlens Noel. Like, of course, he's a very good defender, Nerlens Noel. But I mean, throwing a ball to him in the post is like throwing a basketball at a brick wall. It's just that he's
no hands. No hands. He's just a lob threat.
Yeah. He's a lob threat, and he's a good defender. Now, once again, health is an issue. You do need some vets, which you brought in. And I don't know how much more you guys can do.
You gave him a 9. I give him an 8.5.
Okay.
I'm giving it.
That's valid. We got Warriors, Rockets, Pacers, Clippers, Lakers, then Memphis. Let's just go to the Warriors real quick. So they added Dante DiVincenzo and Patrick Baldwin.
Great pickup by Dante. We'll continue.
Especially, we'll get onto this. They lost Otto Porter, Gary Payton II, Damian Lee, Juan Toscano Anderson. Nemanja
Nemanja Bjelica.
Bjelica. And then they re-signed Kevon Looney to a really good deal, in my opinion. And then Dante DiVincenzo. I was like, okay, I like the pickup. How much did they sign him for?
Jermichael Green is a good one too.
Yeah, and I thought for DiVincenzo, in my head they picked him up like 2 years, 22. 2 years, $9.3 million. Holy fucking bargain. Let me just say that's gotta be.
Bob Myers is the GM, right?
Yeah.
Oh, W's. He
if I'm looking right now, I'm convinced that he is the best, value for money. He is the best contract of free agency. Mm-hmm. I do think. For the team, not the player.
Right.
Losing Porter and Gary Payton, Otto Porter and Gary Payton, I think they're going to miss Gary Payton a lot.
A lot. But it's okay because you're the Warriors and you figure stuff out.
They'll find a way. If there's one thing we've learned about the Warriors, they'll find a way. You got Moses Moody. You got Jonathan Kuminga. They're fine.
You brought in Dante DiVincenzo, who's not a bad defender.
Yeah, he's a very good defender. I like his defense. I just want his 3-ball to go back to where it was. And they're making another championship. I did give them a 4 out of 10 because they did lose Otto Porter and Gary Payton.
I give them a 7. That's crazy. Gary Payton's the only one.
You think they had a plus offseason?
Yes. Gary Payton's the only one I'm looking like, wow, that's crazy. And maybe because I love their second round picks and Ryan Reynolds.
You do.
Ryan Hollins. I love his pick. I love him. And you didn't do too much, which was the idea for you. You don't have to do too much. You're an NBA finalist. You don't have to do too much. And you did what you needed to do. You lost Gary Payton, you replaced Gary Payton. You signed Kevon Looney, who's a good center for y'all. He's a good center for y'all. Y'all re-signed him to a friendly contract. You pick up Patrick Baldwin Jr. Maybe he was a reach. People saying he was a reach. I love it. If he can be a defender and he doesn't have to worry about going crazy. He doesn't have to worry about, I've got to be this. You are going to get coached. You're going to get taught by a lot of great players over there.
Exactly. So once again, they will figure it out. I did once again give them a 4. But now actually looking at DiVincenzo, and they brought DiVincenzo in for Gary Payton, and I'll give them a 5. Exactly what they needed to do. Not too much, not too little, of course.
They're still an NBA championship team.
Exactly. And they will figure it out.
They will figure it out.
Yeah. Next, let's go.
Wait, before we move.
Okay.
And the reason why they didn't re-sign Otto Porter is, I love my notes. The reason why they didn't sign Otto Porter is because, if I'm not wrong, that would have pushed them over the luxury tax. And they didn't want to do that because of next season and what they got to do next season.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
And that's fair. And once again, Moses Moody can go in. Jonathan Kuminga can go in. Whatever.
Dante, yeah. But, the next team is Houston, right?
Yeah, Houston Rockets. So they brought in Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, Ty Washington, Boban, and Sterling Brown from the Christian Wood trade.
Yeah.
And what else am I looking at? And they re-signed Jae'Sean Tate, who I really like. I really like Jae'Sean Tate.
You did great.
Yeah.
I can say this. I'm a Pistons fan, so I can say this about the Rockets. The Rockets, what y'all did, y'all had a W draft. The only thing,
for the most part,
the only thing, and it's not your fault because you didn't have the first round, you didn't have the first pick. That's not your fault. You didn't get Jabari. No, you didn't get Paolo. It's okay.
Yeah, that's the only fault I have in them, and that's something.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near as high on Jabari as most people are. I'm nowhere near.
I'm high on Jabari, but
yeah, I've made my opinions. I don't know if I've made them clear on the pod. I'm just
talk about it. Go ahead, real quick. Why he's
Okay.
not high on the bar?
So I'm just concerned where if he's going to be able to be a star, like be the top 2 player on a team, because he's good. He's a versatile defender and a very good 3-point shooter. Can't finish it around the rim for shit. Let's be real. His mid range is iffy, and also just his handle is bad. And I don't think I think he'll develop into a skilled, like a good stretch four who's a versatile defender. I don't know if he'll be able to develop into a top player. I think there will be the levels. I don't think he'll be near.
Does he need to? You have Jalen Green. Does he need to? And I'm gonna put this in
Honestly,
perspective.
he was tipped to go first. There's a reason why he was a top 3 pick. If you're getting a top 3 pick, you want a guy who will be able to be a star.
That's fair. I'm gonna hit you with this though.
Yeah.
They got Jalen Green. Jalen Green is who we think he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
A dynamic scorer and all that. Dynamic scorer, solid playmaker, stuff like that. Is it okay to have Klay Thompson with 6'10" right next to him?
Absolutely not. And I think, once again, 3-and-D wing. I think he'll be really good in that.
Like a super.
I don't think it's.
I don't like how you're doing that. I don't like how you're doing that. You just saying a 3-and-D. He's a souped up 3-and-D wing who can probably protect the rim. He's 6'10". He can kind of protect the rim. The only thing you really question is his handle and his finishing around the web. I'm okay with that if I'm getting him third.
Yeah, and I don't know about it's not for the 3rd overall pick. It's not. I don't think it's the value that a lot of people will. For a 3rd overall pick, in my head, you'd want more, but I don't think he'll do badly at all. I think he'll be good. I would have liked Paolo more just because he's a better playmaker.
Everybody would have loved Paolo.
Desperately need a playmaker. But it's not bad.
You can't control it. But the thing is, you can't control that. But Tari Eason, good defender, looks like he's going to be a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, I really like Ty Washington. He was like my guy, like late draft.
You got a point guard who they needed.
Draft. He was like kind of like one of the guys in the draft that I just really liked. Like he was supposed to go late lottery, like around 15th. He went later than that. I typically choose a guy like around 15 that I'm just gonna really like. This year was Ty Washington. Mm-hmm. So
they got a
last year was Zaire Williams.
Legit every 15th pick, he just like projected
pretty
15th.
much.
You like
I'm gonna like this dude now.
Crazy, but again. I feel like they had
because Zaire happened to go 15 also. But yeah.
You let go of John Wall, which we all knew was coming sooner than later.
Oh yeah.
Christian Wood, we already talked about it. You get a 9, like you get a 9-8. You get the same grade as the Pistons get.
I gave them a 7 just because I would have liked them to get a little bit more out of Christian Wood, but
his value wasn't high. Can't control his value. But
fair enough.
You really, but Houston.
Like when I say a little bit, I'm nitpicking there.
Like a 2nd round. You probably wanted a 2nd round pick. But as I said, the Pistons won the draft. I can say this: the Pistons won the draft 2 years in a row, drafting Cade and getting Ivy and Duran. But Cade was the number 1, obviously. So you obviously go get Cade. But Houston, you also won the draft because you got players who are going to fit your system.
Exactly.
You're no longer going to have a small forward who's 6'4". Like that's not a thing anymore. You have Tari Eason, Jabari Smith. Like you have wings now. You don't have guards who are trying to play wings.
They just got some really high upside players. Not high upside, not all high upside, but they got some just good rookies with who long term will be good. Let's move on. So you went 7 out of 10?
You went 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
I went 8.
Yeah.
Next team
Let's
up
go
is
to
the Pistons.
Indiana. So they lost Malcolm Brogdon and TJ Warren. They got Aaron Nesmith, Ben Math, and they re-signed Jalen Smith. So I'm gonna go here. Malcolm Brogdon, of course, his value wasn't that high going into the offseason. So I'm like, okay, you get a first, you get Aaron Nesmith, who's a prospect, and Daniel Tice is Daniel Tice, whatever you want to think. I really like the Mathurin pick,
Okay.
and Jalen Smith. We'll see how he turns out.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. And like,
Oh,
they
no.
had one of the worst off seasons.
Really?
They had one of the worst off seasons, and it's not their fault. It's the fucking Suns' fault. It's because
the fucking off.
You released, I think, like you got rid of like 10 players for a shot at 8. And you do that. Like you do that. You do that. Damn,
And
you
the
couldn't
Suns,
get
for
it.
the first time ever, decide not to
They
be
just
the
did this. They
cheapest
said,
franchise.
They said, let's get Eaton back. Dwayne Washington Jr. was very good.
Yeah. We'll get on to also Phoenix. I believe that will be the midweek episode.
Yeah. But
yeah.
You did your I'm gonna say this, because I think I said that a little bit too harsh. You did your job in the draft.
They signed a guy who I personally really like, and
who I can see who can be a scorer, like somebody who can
just a pure
scorer, and a good defender also. But
yeah,
you did what you had to do in the draft, but you couldn't get a lot out of free agency.
Yeah,
and sometimes it just goes that way. What can you do?
Yeah.
You lost Malcolm Brogdon, recruit TJ Warren, but it all seemed like it was going to happen. One thing that you really made me mad about, and it's not like, who am I to say, but are we going to get rid of Miles Turner or are we going to keep him? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, his value isn't that high, I don't think. But at the same time, I feel like his value is kind of high.
His value is high because he's an okay stretch, but he's a good rim protector.
And he's one of the best rim protectors. He's just not a great rebounder at all.
He's not a great rebounder or perimeter defender.
Yeah. But I feel like for the love of God, get rid of him, go full tank, and go for Wembanyama.
Like, go full Victor. All right, go Victor, boy. Go Victor.
Brick for Vic. That was the shit I saw.
Brick for Vic. But Tyrese Halliburton is going to be fine. I like the Tyrese Halliburton and Ben Mathurin. I like that.
Him and then Chris Duarte.
I like that.
I like that. I do like that.
Now you can, Buddy Hield can go. But I like that. I like that little Tyrese Halliburton, Ben Mathurin, little dynamic. That's going to be fun to watch.
That's going to be fun. Yeah.
For me, I give him as much as I just said all that good stuff, I'll give him like a 3, maybe a 4.
I gave him a 5. I'm just like, they're rebuilding. They did kind of get screwed in the 8 thing, but also like at the same time, no, fuck that. You're gonna want DeAndre Ayton there.
You have to go for it.
Yeah,
you have to go for him.
I like that they did go for that. Let's go to the Clippers now, who
time out.
Didn't do that much.
Before you start with the Clippers, I'm sorry to interrupt. Before we start with the Clippers, I want to be fair, but I think I have to say this. We are doing off season. But the Clippers, all their moves, like their great moves, really came in the trade deadline, which made their team really good. But since we're doing off season, they're going to get graded because of their off season.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like what they did at the deadline too.
The off season was John Wall, free agent.
Yeah, John Wall. And they lost Isaiah Hardenstein. Being able to re-sign Batum Zubac and Robert Covington was really good. A huge W. And then John Wall on a 2 years, 13.
I don't know John Wall's contract, so I'm not
It was 2 years, 13. I'm pretty sure. That's just good value.
yeah.
Ooh,
John, you get a
low
point
risk,
guard.
high reward.
Low
You
risk,
get
high reward.
a good point guard. I really like that.
You get an alright
They're
point guard.
they're full. Well, all right.
Reggie Jackson
Below
is
his
probably better as of right now. As of right now, Reggie is probably
I'm
better.
interested to see what happens. But once again, it's low risk, high reward.
Yeah, right. But go ahead.
So
I
think they're just absolutely contenders.
Yeah,
they're A-tier contenders. I think my two favorites to come out of the West. We'll do more predictions probably in a later pod, but this is just off the top of my head. One of my favorite phrases that I always use is fucking. I think my top two favorites are, along with most people, are the Warriors and the Clippers. Yeah. But the Nuggets too could do it. Fuck.
It's not a prediction, baby. Don't think about it. It's not a prediction, bro.
Yeah, no, we're that's for a later day.
The thing that the Clippers did this offseason was get a backup point guard or get a point guard who's starting. We don't know, but you get a point guard. Happens. You get a playmaking point guard, which you really needed. But what you did was you had reassurance for Kawhi and Paul George by what you did at the trade deadline, Norman Powell, like that pickup, the Robert Covington, like you really got deep. Like you really got deep and got better. Like everybody on that team can actually get minutes around anybody on there's no bad player on that team, to be honest with you.
No. There's not really. I'm just really looking forward.
You lost Isaiah Hartenstein, who was he was really good. He was really good. He was good. But you had to do that to get John Wall. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And you can play Rocco at the small ball 5.
Yeah. What your game plan is to run 4 wings, like 2 guards, 4 wings, or 1 guard, 4 wings. Like the way y'all defense.
Whatever the fuck you want.
You can do whatever you want. You have Kawhi, Paul George coming back. Like you said, Robert Covington can play the 5, so small ball, most likely, which you will do. Nicholas Batum can. Zubac, you still brought back Zubac.
is a good I like
underrated
Zubac
center,
a lot.
Underrated center for what he does. Y'all had a 9. I'm thinking now for off season. No, I'm thinking about that mid season.
Yeah, you're thinking mid season too much. No, I gave them a 7. I probably could have gone 8. I'm
7 is fair.
Change that to an 8.
7 is fair. I'll give him a 7. You give him an 8. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I'll go 8 because I do just really like that John Wall pickup.
The 7 is just because by the way, the 7, and I think I have to say this again, just because the Clippers. The 7 is because half of their win now moves happen at the deadline, not off season.
Yeah. All right. Next, let's go across LA. I say across LA. They play in the same fucking stadium. Let's go to the Lakers. So they got Lonnie Walker on a mid-level exception, Juan Descondo and Anderson, Thomas Bryant, and Damian Jones, and Troy Brown. They lost Malik Monk. So Lonnie Walker, I don't like that mid. My phone is at 10%. Hold up. You can.
So, like you said, Lonnie Walker, I feel like for the Lakers, you're going to hear this a lot in these. You did what you had to do. You did what you had to do. The Lakers, what you really wanted to do was move off of Russell Westbrook, but you couldn't. So you have to play around it.
It's not possible.
It's not. I ain't going to say it's not possible because any NBA contract is tradable, but it's not what you wanted to get. But one thing I did like was Thomas Bryant, stretch center who can stretch the floor out, protect the rim, lax a little bit, but he's better than what you are probably currently had or what you had before. As he's fixing his camera.
Sorry.
You're fine. Lonnie Walker, I like Lonnie Walker. It gives him a different dynamic. He replaces Malik Monk.
I like his fit. I went purely off from a mid-level exception. I would want someone who can shoot the ball. I don't think you get that from you don't get that from Lonnie Walker.
Could be an okay catch and shoot. You got a playmaker like LeBron.
You do, but I like Malik Monk's fit a lot more on that team than Lonnie Walker. So that's why I'm not big on that. Juan Toscano Anderson is Juan Toscano Anderson. Thomas Bryant will be interesting. He can at times stretch the floor, so you can't get away with AD at the 4.
AD play the fucking 5, please. But continue.
Yeah, but every time we say this, he gets fucking injured.
I don't care. Be a man. Play the 5. Do your job.
Yeah, he's I don't like him at the 4, but I don't know.
Oh, one thing I did forget. I think we forget. Max Christie. I love his pickup. Good 3-point shooter from my school, like Michigan State. Let's rock. But good 3-point shooter. Can stretch the floor out. Can be a catch and shoot player. Has defense potential, but good pick. Good pick. But continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. They didn't do what they had to do.
They
did not. They
didn't complete the job.
They needed either
Westbrook out of there
to get Westbrook out or get shooters around them and not retirement home shooters, actual shooters. And as much as you can with like the little cap space you have. And they didn't fucking do that. They used their mid-level on Lonnie Walker. Thomas Bryant, once again, can sometimes shoot, but yeah.
What else does he do? What else can he really do? Like, if he's not an exceptional,
he's all right at scoring. He's like all right inside, but
it's all right.
Yeah. And then Juan Toscano Anderson, he's kind of just fun, whatever. But
they get a 5.
I gave them a 3.
I
just really think they should have done something else with their mid-level.
What? Okay. I thought you.
I don't know exactly what else. Like off the date, it's fucking late.
PJ Tucker could have happened, but whatever. He was going.
I
would have
liked
no matter what.
A hell of a lot more.
He was going to Philly no matter what. So whatever.
Yeah. And last team of the episode. We're doing Memphis. This one's going to be kind of quick, but they drafted Jake LaRavia. I cannot read. Oh, David Roddy and Kennedy Chandler. They lost. Yep. They lost D'Anthony Melton, Slow-Mo Kyle Anderson, and they re-signed Ja and Tyus Jones.
You want to go first? Because what I'm about to say might be
disrespectful. Because I like Jake LaRavia. Is it LaRavia or LaRavia?
LaRavia.
I think he's Italian, right? He's the Italian dude.
Yeah, he's one of the.
So yes, LaRavia. It's going to be LaRavia. I heard someone say LaRavia. I'm like, okay. Kennedy Chandler is just. I'm interested to see if he gets minutes.
He's really good.
Yeah, D'Anthony Melton. I wish they got more value out of him. I really do. I also rate him kind of highly. He was one of the guys who I'm like, I actually, not just because I like him, but I actually thought he would fit pretty well in Boston. Like him, and I also wanted us to sign Oladipo if possible.
Okay.
But I don't mind what we did at all, quite clearly. And re-signing Tyus Jones to not too expensive of a deal, I like. And
good backup
Ja,
point
of
guard.
course, you're going to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got Danny Green back, too.
They did. I forgot.
Yeah, you got Danny Green back. Is he going
to play?
Yeah, he's going to play. He's going to play.
I thought he just
off the bench. No, I'm talking like, yeah, he did. But when he's healthy, he's
when he's back.
Yeah. I'm known as a Memphis hater. I think I'm gonna continue that today. Y'all got worse.
A little bit, yeah. I agree.
Like you can hide it with the Ja Morant signing, and yeah, we got Ja. We re-signed Ja. Kennedy Chandler. I like Kennedy Chandler, what he brings. Danny Green. Okay, and like you did your job, but you got worse because you couldn't get much value back from D'Anthony Melton, who was really good, and Slow-mo, who like he was really good. Like that's the
He's
reason
just
why
a good point forward.
he's a good point forward, and he does a little bit of everything. And you lost that, and you didn't get like a lot back. Could you probably like you try to fight for a little bit back? I felt like they settled a little bit. They settled.
Yeah, they did absolutely settle. I gave them a 4 out of 10 because I wish they could have done more.
I give them a 4 also.
But I did like the guy that they drafted.
Yeah. But
yeah. Anyway, that's 15. And then midweek episode, we'll figure that out.
Like he said, thank you for coming out. As you see, we are a little bit tired. We did this a little bit late. But go ahead. Tell them the time over there.
The time it's 12:40 for me.
It's 1:40 for me.
Yeah.
We did a little bit late, but I have fun with this. I have fun.
So did I, yeah.
I love Alex. As you see, I love Alex on the pod. Alex is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Alex is awesome, bro.
It's always fun.
But
it's always fun.
Thank you for coming out. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for coming out. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. Please rate 5 stars if you can, share, retweet, whatever.
We try to put a lot of time into this, and we try to have fun with it too.
Yeah, go ahead. His Twitter is Dan is the Boss 13, right?
Dan is the Boss 313. Yes.
313. Fuck.
Yes. Detroit vibes.
Yeah,
but it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
Mine is that one guy. Sorry, that one fan _13.
You was about to give him the wrong one. You was about to give him the wrong one.
My TikTok is fucking that one guy _13, the most offhand shit you'll ever witness. But yeah.
He's him. I just want y'all to know. Off the pod, he is him. He is him. Like he went to him university. But again, thank you for coming out, guys.
Yeah,
thank you for coming out. If you like anything we said, you agree, disagree, tell us. And again, thank you for watching. And we're out. How do I stop it?